Hi, this is Tim from Garden Hands. We plant all this stuff and hopefully we can harvest it in the summer, and there's other things that you can plant, and not many people cover these other things. They're kind of odd, but the first thing I'm going to show you is marshmallows. Marshmallows are similar to a potato. You cut them up into pieces. They send out a tuber. So you start a marshmallow. Hi, this is Tim from Garden Hands. Today we're going to try some soil blocking. It's the first time we've done it, but we're going to give it a try, see how we like it. Get going here and we'll kind of try and talk along with it to see. This is our first year of doing this, and this is a different soil. This is a Pro Mix compressed pack, so potting mix. So we'll see how this one goes. Water to our mix, and this, we haven't measured it out. We should be measuring so we have a more of an idea, but we put some water in and then we'll mix it up by hand and keep adding water until we get it to the right consistency. One thing about mixing this with water is it's real forgiving. If you don't have enough water, you add some more water. If you don't have enough soil, you add some more soil. Once you figure out what your consistency should feel like, it's easy to get to it. As you make blocks, you gain water because you push this down into it. You're pushing some water out of it, so you keep taking away some of the soil, but you leave a little bit of water, so it kind of gains. You want to make sure you have enough dry soil, the potting mix left to remix, I guess I would say. We tried using a trowel doing this, a garden trowel, and it was easier just to get your hands dirty. Right now this is too wet. You shouldn't be able to squeeze it like that and get that much moisture out of it. And we've got some dry down on the other end that we'll mix in with it here. This is what takes the longest when you're making these soil blocks, it seems like, is getting your mix made. If you were going to make a lot of trays, a nursery, you'd have a wheelbarrow or a mixer doing this. You wouldn't probably do it by hand, but we're just doing enough for the garden. So here we have our soil mixed up, and I guess if you press down on it, and this right here, here's the height of our soil blocks, is this height here. It's just about twice as tall as that. If you press down on this, you can see a little bit of water in between your fingers, so we're going to go with that as our starting point to see how much wetter or drier we need to be as we go along here. We tried doing this up in the kitchen on a counter, and it's just tall enough that you can't push down on it. This is a lot handier with a counter that's only just over knee high. To be able to push down it, it's a lot easier to do. So we push down into it, it starts pushing around a little bit, and I'm going to turn that around. And as you push down, you can see water come up inside of right up on top of the blocking. So here's some water here, and here's some water here. So that means you're getting it's full of soil then. You wiggle it around a little bit, lift it up, and check your bottom. I just scrape it off by hand. I guess you could use a trowel or a scraper too. Bring it over to your soil or to your tray, which has a wick pad in it, in the bottom of it, so we can water via this pad without spraying it over the top when the plants get taller. Now I'm going to release this one. So what I do to release is I hold on to this, but I push from the top. So I just hold here or steady it, push from the top, and you can see some water come up a little bit, and then slowly bring that up and off, and you get some real nice blocks. And these blocks, you can break them apart and lift them. Whoops. You can break them apart and move them around if you want. They're good and solid. So I smooth off the bottom, bring it back over here and put another row in, push down, bring it up. And then you'll notice in the top of these it's called a dibble, not a dimple, a dibble. And that's the spot for the seeds. We're going to transplant some carnations that Lindsay had planted on the 12th of February. These are hit right here. They're about an inch tall, doing real well. And she's singled out some of these for me to plant. I'm not the coolest at this, but we're going to give it a shot to get these down into these. And these are the soil blocks that we made. And they're a 2x2 block. And what we did on the dibble, this hole in top, we took just a knife handle and pushed down to make it a little bit deeper because these roots are longer, so they can get back down to this depth that they need to be without interrupting them too much, we hope. And these are real moist. We just made the soil blocks, so they're moist enough that they'll take right off in this, I believe. And we'll keep you informed on how these are doing here, but they look awfully good. I think that Lindsay had me do this, and if they die, we know whose fault it was. If we can get those down in there and try to get it so there isn't any air space around them. That air is not good for them. We don't need to prune their roots when they're itty bitty things. So we've moved over to, we're going to start planting some peppers. Or we're going to plant 4 varieties of peppers. So we're putting 2 seeds in each cell, each dibble. And then we'll have to, when we transplant, we'll have to kind of adjust those. And that shouldn't be too hard to do. Pick one out or transplant both of them, whichever works. So we finished up planting the peppers. There's 5 different varieties here, and the carnations. And these will get a little plastic dome that they put on them. It kind of seals them up until they germinate. And then we'll turn on we've got some LED grow lights we'll put on top of them. So we're off to the races. And this is Tim from Garden Hands saying thank you. Thanks for watching. Next, M&Ms. Huh. Gotta love them. And craisins. Probably another M&M. These will yield about 1 bag per seed. So if you can get 6 or 8 of these blocks going and fill up a bag, grandkids will love you forever. So there's a couple of things. They need water in your soil contact. They don't need much soil over them. However, if you have grandkids that are 5 or 6 or 7 years old and they're out in the garden when you're planting these, the little buggers will eat them. So you gotta get them covered up right away when you're planting them. Otherwise, they're just gone.